What's up, guys? Boogie back again. Shout out to you guys for supporting your boy. Like, subscribe. Brianna Giselle. I've reacted to her content before. She always cooks. She's back. It's been a while, but she's back. Let's get into it.
I have a very important question that we should all ask ourselves. That question is, why should a man want a woman in 2026?
Good question.
Why should a man that is single, that is already living his life, possibly disrupt his life by taking on a woman?
Good
The
question.
reason I ask this question is because I think that a lot of us women have a very outdated mindset. Women are not what they used to be. The image of a woman has been tainted by ourselves. We have totally destroyed our image. Anything positive that used to come to mind when you thought of a woman, we have dismantled. And we don't piece together the fact that dismantling our image comes with consequences. So again, I ask you to ask yourself, why should a man want a woman in 2026? We get on the internet and we sit up and we bash men all day long. All day long, all we do is talk crap about what a man isn't doing and what a man is doing that we don't like, how we don't want to live with a man, how men are acting like females, how men aren't doing enough, men aren't giving enough, what they do isn't good enough, how they behave isn't good enough, they don't look good enough, they don't have enough money. We are just going on and on and on talking crap about men all day long. That's point one. Point two, we have totally taken the mystery away out of being a woman. Back in the day, women didn't discuss certain things. Certain things were kept between the girls. Now we've gotten online acting like the men don't process and see the same internet we do. We traded in a quick buck for our secrecy, for our mystery. You can get online and you can see how women do their hair. You can see how women do their makeup. You can see how women get cheap clothes off of Shein or wherever they get them from. We got our hygiene tips on there. We've got dating tips. We talk about what we do and don't do on the first date. We talk about all these things, just sharing every single thing about ourselves. We tell stories about our stupidity and dumb things we do. We talk about how we have no standards, and you may not think that that's what you're talking about, but when you're telling these stories about dumb stuff that you did or certain stories about situations that you've been in, what you're saying is, I don't have standards. And most women don't have standards anyways, but that's a whole separate video coming very soon. So we get on the internet, we crap on our men, we share all of our secrets about ourselves to where they're no longer secrets anymore. What would make a man want us? Then to top it all off, top all of that off, there's all this free corn everywhere. And even if you're a man where you want the real thing, there's women on here sharing basically that they'll do anything for some dinner. There's women out here that are sleeping with men for dinner. There's one of us sleeping for men with just the smallest thing. So we're giving out all the tips, all the secrets, telling all the things about ourselves. So there's no secrecy anymore. There's no anything anymore. What?
And then, on top of that, they want the man to accept her the way she is. In other words, if you found her on Instagram, everything is out there, she dresses the way she likes, she wants you to marry her. And even when you guys get married or in a relationship, she wants you to allow her to still dress like that. Because they always say, "Oh, you found me dressing like this. Why are you trying to change me? Accept me the way they are, the way I am." They want the man to accept her the way she is, but she doesn't want to accept the man for being short. She won't accept you for, being an average guy. It's just the double standards. But man, I gotta give a shout out to Brianna. When was the last time you heard a woman, a black woman, speak so nice and softly but making a point without having to be loud? When was the last time you guys listened to a woman speaking nice and soft like this? You may want to listen to her talk all day, I'm going to be honest. Because you see on social media, all they do is be loud and snatch souls, use their hands. But she has not at one time tried to snatch a soul, do that, clock it, all the BS they do, man. Shout out to Brianna.
Is the selling point for us? What do we bring? And you get mad when someone says, "What do you bring to the table?" Because we're asking men to bring so much. We want men to do it all. We want men to still be the men of yesteryear while us not being the women of yesteryear. We don't want to cook. We don't want to clean. We don't want to provide and cater to a man's needs. We don't want to do anything but receive everything. And we want to talk down to our men. We want to mistreat our men, but it still expect them to be gentlemen and decency. And it's so funny to me how women are always online talking about how men are acting like females.
Yeah.
You're saying it in a derogatory way.
Sassy and gay.
Which means you are self-admitting that you know that the image of a woman is a negative thing. If you're saying that men are acting like this and it's a bad thing, that means that you're behaving badly and you know it, and you're not calling it out. You're not changing yourself. So again, in these hard economic times, in these hard political times, in these hard, difficult, challenging spiritual times, you think that it's a good idea for a man to take on a woman?
No, it's not a good idea. Unless you have millions of dollars. Even if you make $100,000, guys, it's not a smart idea. Try to sit down and do the math of how much money you're going to spend on this woman in a year, maybe let alone a month. I'm sure you guys have seen that viral thing where it says the average man spends between $10,000 to $15,000 on a woman in a year. Do the math of how much you're going to spend on a woman. And remember, it's not guaranteed she's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. Think about all the women you've been dating. How much money have you spent on them? How many of them are still in your life? And then after you do that, for all the women who are not in your life anymore, if you had an issue, if your car broke down, how many of them would you call to send you $100, and how many would send you $100? So I know as men, we are suckers for love. We really love to be in love and be goo goo gaga. But sit down for a second and think, is the investment worth it? Even if you make six figures, like the women ask men to make six figures, do you think it's worth it having a woman? And I'm even talking about the financial. I haven't talked about how much she's going to be nagging you, how much she's going to be trying to make you her therapist, how much you're going to have to call her every day, how much she wants you to buy her flowers every single day. And if you skip a day without buying her flowers, it's going to be an issue. Think about that before you try to get into a relationship, because I know us as men, we love consistent sex, and then we love to be in love. But you got to think twice.
Women who are getting online expressing how ungrateful they are, taking men's children away, putting men on child support, taking half of their stuff when they get divorced, just causing chaos in their life, causing drama. On top of that, you have to compete with this corn. And I don't blame people. I don't blame anyone. You act like, oh, because I have my genitalia, since I have this private part, I'm the prize. No, the prize is who's ever in demand, and women are not in demand anymore. There's way too many of us. We've gotten online and made it clear that we're way too easy, we're way too promiscuous, we do anything strange for a little bit of change. There's literally no incentive anymore. What is the point? I would not advise any man unless you just want that. I'm not surprised if you don't want a woman. Who would?
Yeah.
Who would? What women are out here that are worth wanting when there's all these risks? It's all risk and little to no reward. And we get on the internet and we make it, we display it every single day. When you're taking on a woman, all you're doing is taking on challenges. And the
That's true.
main reason to still want a woman, which is to have children, half of y'all have gotten online and made it clear that y'all don't even want to be mothers anymore. Y'all don't want to have children. So what is the point? What is the point? What is the incentive?
No incentive, and they tell men they don't need men. They are clearly saying they're going to go to sperm banks where men give their own sperm, because some men sell their own sperm to sperm banks, and then the women can go buy sperm and then, get pregnant and raise the baby by themselves. They're literally telling men they don't need them to that extent. So you as a man, are there still some good women? Because, Brianna is saying there are no good women. Okay, maybe she's just being generalizing, which it's true, the majority maybe. I'm sure there's still some good women out there, but the question is it worth it for a man to look? Or should you just do your own thing, chase your own purpose, and then if she comes around, you vet and see if she's worth it? You know what I mean? Because it's really tough out here as a man, especially for the investment and the list of things women ask for. Until you meet a woman who has a list of things she's going to bring to your life before she asks the things you're going to give to her, until then, they're no good women. In other words, if the true characteristic of a good woman is a woman you're going to meet a woman and she's going to tell you, hey, Boogie, I have a list of things that I think I can bring to your life. Instead of, hey, Boogie, what are you going to give me? How many women are you going to meet? And they have a list of things they're going to talk about that they're going to bring to your life without asking anything in return first. But most of the women have a list of 1,000 things a man should do for them. They never have a list of things they're going to do for a man. So why is it worth it for a man again?
Why are we acting like we don't understand? Why are we walking around still thinking that we're the prize, thinking that someone should want us when we're not giving anything worth wanting? What are you worth that's worth wanting? What about you is worth the risk that you come with? When you're letting all these women online represent womanhood in such a nasty way every single day, and you're in the comments condoning it, instigating it, egging it on, yes, girl, yes, queen,
Yeah, you
waving
go,
your
girl.
fingers,
Yeah.
praising this behavior, and you're surprised when these men don't want you besides to sleep with you. And the funny thing is, a lot of them don't even care about that anymore. Why? Because it is much more easy and enjoyable to be in your own home, please yourself if
Save
that's
some
what
money.
you're into, and roll over than have to deal with all of the problems and issues and drama that comes with women in 2026. So please ask yourself this question before you go to yourself and have a pity party. I need a man. Where's the men? Men aren't the same anymore. Ask yourself, are you the same as a woman? Are you worth it? I strongly doubt it. We as a whole are diminishing our value every single day, and it's over. It's a wrap. There's no undoing it. This is what you all have decided. This is what we have decided as a whole. Live with it, deal with it, and
Yeah, it's cooked.
ultimately deal with the consequences.
The only difference is they don't deal with the consequences right now. And you guys, if you really follow my channel, you've heard me say the days of a woman, because some men think once a woman hits 35, then she's gonna realize the bad choices. No, these days it's taking all the way to 50 years old. These days, the days of 35, at 35, if she has taken good care of herself and she's in the gym, she's still going to have plenty of men, reaching out, because usually that's the false sense of entitlement and having options that makes women think that because so many men are in the DMs, she still got it. That's why even at 35, that's why even at 40, they can still play the games and use men for this and that because they believe plenty of men still want them. But it's not until 50 years old, and then the options and the DMs have kind of dried up. Until then, that's when they're like, you know what? Okay, maybe the 6 figure guy, maybe he's not coming. Maybe let me call Boogie back again. By that time, Boogie is also 50 years old. He's tired. I mean, I've been used and abused. I'm not settling down. And then they complain, oh, older men want younger women. But that's how the game goes. Man, shout out to Brianna, man. I may have to invite her to my channel and we have a conversation. All right. If you guys want me to invite Brianna to my channel for a live stream and we talk about it, comment down below. But for sure, sooner rather than later, I definitely would like to invite her, man. The feminine energy. When she talks, you feel the energy. You just want to sit down and listen. She's not snapping. She's not fixing her neck the way most women do. She's not snatching souls, her hand. Like, you guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, oh my God, breath of fresh air, man. Shout out to Brianna. All right, next video. Her link is down below, by the way. Let's get to the next video. Let's get to Fadi. Jazz featuring Pa. The debate. Let me see. All right, let's go.
Question for Pearl, and then Yuri can actually respond, and then we go to the fellas. I see you, CJ. Pearl, do most women know about how these men move out there? Because in my head, it comes Future, Nick Cannon, Cam Newton. Like, usually the guy that has already a track record and women still flock to them. This is a very visible. I don't think this is like the woman will.
No, women know, but we hate that we love them.
That's different.
Like, oh, I love him so much. I hate it. We hate that we love the criminals, the players, the rappers, in this case, the the really unstable men we just love. And you could see this because when women are young and hot, that's who we pick. When we're old, ugly, and used up, I mean, that's when we go for the stable guys. And we do a very good job, we do a very good job convincing them we love them. So I don't know if any girl comes in and is like, I love the stable guys. It's like, at 20, did you? Usually not. So that's... And we can't help it to some degree. We cannot help that we are attracted to men that show signs of dominance. I think a lot of us we wish we could turn it off, but we can't. It's just what we're attracted to. We're biologically hardwired to do that, unfortunately. So
we're biologically hardwired to. Did you say we're biologically hardwired to want chaotic, criminal,
well, dominant? Yeah, dominant. Because you got to think of like Ted Bundy. He had women. Yeah, he had women writing him love letters. He impregnated a woman. He impregnated a woman while he was in prison for murdering women.
I heard about
this. This is a real Luigi Mangione.
I don't think that's a woman thing. I think that's a thing that certain women do.
Well, you are correct.
There's no.
Hold on, Jazz, let her land, and you respond. You going to get the mic? Let her land.
Not every woman does that. There's different levels of dominance. However, we are still attracted to dominant men, and that does come in the form of, if a man can kill someone else, we know he can protect us biologically. So
yeah,
that just is what it is.
So you find you equate dominance with, you find a man that can dominate and harm a woman attractive?
That's one way that men describe it, or that's one way that men do it, and women do select those men.
That's true.
So I try not to apply morality to this, good or bad. It doesn't matter.
It is what it is.
Because women do pick criminals. Criminals are men that have committed a violent crime are actually more likely. They are more likely to reproduce than men that haven't. So I didn't make this world. I didn't make women write love letters.
Has that been your experience? Like, are you attracted to
criminals? Oh my God.
To be fair, I don't know many criminals. So that hasn't been my experience personally.
What about the people in your environment?
I've interviewed 1,000 people. A good chunk of
there are literally studies on this, Jazz. Just use some common sense. You don't have to attack her personally, but what she's talking about is real. They do studies about men in prison on this. Come on.
did procreate and date men with felonies. That's not uncommon. So
Okay,
I-
now you're-
especially
but now you're
especially in the black community, if we're going to be honest, that's
Well, yeah,
that's
well,
not
and I was going to say,
uncommon.
it's
So I don't know why
especially-
you're pretending to not know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's
You
Well, I
studies
don't
on
think I
this.
know what
can
you're talking
gaslight
about.
these simps, but you can't gaslight me.
I
Chico.
don't know what you're talking about. I don't think you know anything about the black community, but I will say about the white community,
Oh,
it's a lot of white women that find, men who kill other women attractive. Those are the
True.
women that were
true, but I won't gaslight you
writing-
about it. I won't gaslight you. I would say that's true. That's
I
true.
can't
There
hear
are
you
there
while
are
I'm
white
talking.
women that do
I
that.
can't hear you.
Yeah,
while I'm talking.
completely.
Hold on, real quick.
Right?
Hey, hold on.
I
I'm gonna
will
say it again.
gaslight
Hold on, real quick, Pearl.
I
Hold
can't
on.
hear you
Jazz,
while I'm
Jazz,
talking.
you can't-
I don't even know why she even brought up
Jazz,
the
you
black
can't say
community.
that.
Okay, well, you asked me why I brought it up, the black community, because you're black, so you would know. Like I don't.
No, first of all,
That's like the same reason you brought up the white community, because I'm white.
I didn't
have
bring
That's fair
eyes,
game.
You know?
If you're done, first of all, that's very disrespectful.
It's very
I-
No, it's not. It's fair game. You asked her why she brought up the black community. She say because you're black, and you brought up the white community. And honestly, to sit here and lie like as if black women do not write letters to black men in prison, like as if black men in prison do not have so many babies with black women, is crazy.
This
No,
was
it's
a
not.
conversation
I mean,
about.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
Hey,
very
hey, hey,
disrespectful.
friends, we don't need ad libs. Jess can handle it. Let her handle it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, like I said,
again,
we
you're
were talking about.
offended. Next. Like,
Go ahead, Jess. Let
Y'all
Jess
gonna
finish,
allow
please.
me?
Let's go ahead, Jess.
I will. Yeah, go ahead.
Jess,
So,
no,
like
you-
I said, we were speaking about relationships in general. Nobody said anything about black or white until you brought it up, and for what reason I don't know.
That's true,
It
'cause you're
didn't add
black.
anything to the conversation.
It
First
did.
of all, you're speaking on the nature of women and how we are all naturally attracted to men who are criminals, and then you made a
Black
point to
women
say,
in particular. Yeah.
excuse me, no, that is not the case at all for black women. Now, if you're talking about
is the
people
case.
that are in poverty, people that live in certain situations and are
60%
prone
of
to
black men have
excuse
been
me,
arrested by the
Can you
ACLU.
One
stop
sec-
cutting her off while
Hey,
she's
one sec.
talking?
Hey, friends.
her off.
One
She's cutting me
second.
off,
One second.
Eileen.
I got you.
She's
I got
cutting
you.
me off, Eileen.
I got you, Jess. You don't have to ask. I got you.
Sorry.
You all right?
Crashed it
Bro,
out.
bro,
My bad. My bad.
Right, just make some notes, Pearl. Let her
No,
finish
it's
and then
very
you got it.
bad.
Go ahead,
My
Jess.
bad. That's my fault.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead, Jess. Uninterrupted.
It's just weird that you would even have to bring up a race of people to even have the conversation. What lets me know that you don't really have information on the conversation. You're just spewing points to try to get a rise out of people because that's all you know. As it pertains to why women choose the women they want or the kind of men that they date, there are so many different reasons for that. You can't equate a person that has a felony to them being a violent criminal. That's not always the case, because I agree there are some people that marry men and women that have felonies in their background. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are violent. And then to say that black women are the most prone to violent criminals within our community, you don't know shit about our community, Pearl. And if we're going to talk about what's happening, if we're going to make it about a race thing, let's figure out what's going on in these white communities, in these white homes, when you all are raising all the mass shooters, y'all raising kids that are taking guns to shoot at other kids, y'all going into public spaces. And I'm sure you're going to talk about black on black crime or whatever, but we can debunk all of that because that's through proximity. The point is that you didn't have to make it about black or white. Keep it general, because it's very disrespectful for you to try to pigeonhole black women when you don't know any of us at all, to make that assumption that that's what we are prone to.
That's not true. You just have to look at studies. You have to look at behaviors in the community. You don't need to know Jazz personally. You don't need to know every black woman personally. You don't need to know every black man personally to know the general behavior of a community or of a group of people. Like, you don't need to do that. So at the end of the day, she brought up black women, you brought up white women. Let's get to it. You don't have to keep stuck on the black thing and try to blame victim when the facts are women, both whether white, black, yellow, Spanish, I don't care what, you also usually like men in prison. They write letters to men in prison. They make babies to men in prison. They will drive miles to go see a man in prison, but they will cancel a date with an average man who has never been to prison. They literally do that every single day.
One of these women on this stage, myself, Tyranny, or even Athena, are dating any man that is of a criminal or that are violent.
She
So
didn't
watch
say
what you say
you.
up here. You got a really smart
Okay.
mouth, and if
Okay.
you're going to have a conversation, try to be respectful. And all this trying to get me to hurry up, I'm gonna take my motherfucking time.
Oh my God, can we get
Oh
him
my
out of here?
Lord.
Right?
Please,
Hey,
please.
hey, hey,
Take
there
your
was the
time,
rules.
sis.
She
Take
has
your
the
time.
hey, friends. We don't need it. When she lands, she lands. Pearl will have all the chance to reply. Everybody going to be quiet. Go ahead. You done, Jess?
Yeah, I'm done. I don't understand why that was accepted. Like that was
Wait,
so
wait, wait.
that
One
was so
second. One second.
disrespectful to
One
say.
second. 1 second.
Okay.
We shouldn't accept what she said.
To say that you should know as a black woman because you all date criminals when
So,
you
so,
all
so, Jess.
raised.
So, 1
Dude.
second. So, this is my opinion, Jess, and correct me if I'm wrong. She punched you in the face. You have the right to punch her back,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Is that
fair.
fair?
That's
If you
fair.
felt that she punched you in the face, I have an opinion about this that I'm going to say later, right?
Okay. So you can
Also, if Jazz doesn't like what Pearl is saying and feels or thinks Pearl is lying about women, black women, white women liking men in prison or felonies or men with felonies or criminals, guess what? You can always refute the point using what you think is right. It's an argument, it's a debate. So bring your facts and your logic to the floor.
tone police the simps and women that respond to shame, but you're not going to tone police me. So, anyways, going back to the stats, the reason that I said that was two reasons. The first is that I interviewed 1,000 people. A good chunk of them were black women. And I just noticed that they had a propensity more likely than other races to date criminals. It's not really an insult. As I could go into details about the types of men white women tend to date that are irresponsible. I've just noticed different trends in different communities, and it's kind of backed up by data because 60% of black men have been arrested by the age of 25. So, it's not to be rude, but I think it's more common in that community than it is other communities. In terms of mass shooters, I think you said white people are the majority of mass shooters. I would say that's true. And I wouldn't crash out on you for saying that. So again, if you want to get offended, that is a choice and that is your choice and you have the right to do that.
So I want to touch on this, and then I want CJ and Rick the ruler to pull up, and the rest of the panel. Okay, Tyranny, I see you too. So, coming from a world citizen, right? Because I live in Portugal right now. It's 2 a.m. And Pearl was in the UK for a while too. This is not a black woman thing. If you go to Japan, all those women love the yakuza until they get older. If you go to Brazil, all those women love the kid from the favela before they get older. If you come to Europe, all these women love the guys that ride on the L Angels. Like women like danger. Like they are emotional junkies.
They like that
right?
roller coaster.
And I believe that Jess actually pinpoints what it is when you put together people that are emotional junkies, which is most young women, and you put poverty together, you are going to get massive results. And in my opinion, this is why the black community in the United States is hyper exposed to these situations, is because you are mixing two components that are very dangerous. Is the level of poverty. People live on a lower socioeconomic level, and they are addicted to bad boys because that's what women do. You can go to any white college and see exactly the same type of behavior that shads are getting all the women. That's the reality. The bad boy, the football star. Like we know, this is something that is a woman thing. It's just more exacerbated depending on the communities, the culture, and all that. So I actually believe that both of y'all are right on their own way. We can't, unfortunately, just be against something because it triggers our feelings. But what we have to do is be fair. If she was talking about black men, I don't think y'all will have the same type of smoke.
Fact.
That's
Well,
true.
talking about black men. She said most of y'all are in
No,
jail.
no.
And none of y'all heard that.
She
No,
didn't
no,
say
she-
most.
We just did
There
rebuttal
was not.
because
There
of
was
the
not.
fact.
Hey, Pearl, did you say most black men go to jail?
She said
I said a
25%.
stat. I said a stat that 60% of black men have been arrested by the age of 25.
Is that the correct
Yeah,
set?
who the fuck is
I don't think that's
One
correct.
second, just 1 second. Is this that correct?
You can Google it.
I don't.
Wait,
I know.
let's.
I know. I know. I know. I know that 12%. I know 12%
We
have been
already know that
incarcerated.
there's a.
That's,
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry, my
But
bad.
she never said that.
I will say these, right? 1 second, please, friends. 1 second.
Why
I will say
is she
these.
even talking about
1
race?
second, please. 1 second. 1 second.
It's weird.
I will say these. Hey, please, friends.
We're not even
Too
talking
excited.
about this.
Arrests are not convictions. I want to see the number of convictions, because arrests are not convictions. Just because somebody gets a stop and frisk, and they have like arrests are not convictions. I want to know the number of convictions so I can actually understand if these
yeah,
women
but
are.
you're probably
That's a good point Fadi made. Just because you're arrested, just because you can even be I can literally wake up tomorrow morning and sue anyone I want to sue. That doesn't mean they did something wrong. Just because you get sued or you get taken to court doesn't mean you actually did something wrong. So I think that stat is exaggerated a little bit. 60%, that's a big number to be arrested. Even if not convicted by arrested, that's still a very huge number. Now, if she said 60% of black men are average, I would say that's even a low number, maybe higher, maybe 80%, because most of us are average people.
Consider the exoneration data as well.
And I speak.
Because we
I've
lead,
been waiting for 30
Hey, CJ, relax. CJ, relax. I see you, brother.
we actually lead as black people. First of all, we already know why that stat could be high.
60%
If
's
that
pretty
is
bad,
true,
though.
It's
there's
50%.
always
I just looked up the stat you asked for.
Let's prove CJ wrong. Why is he wrong that most black women are attracted to this type of man?
Pearl, no, we're not attracted to them. Their men want us. That's why they really hate us because they can't.
There
keep
was
us-
not the question.
That's it,
there was
but
not
I'm
the
proving
question.
him wrong.
There was not the question. No,
Caucasian men
Tyranny, you
love
have to be a,
black
1
women.
second. I talk again.
Really?
Tyranny, 1
She's
second.
making my
Tyranny,
point
1
back.
second, Tyranny.
half of black women have herpes. Like,
Hey, 1 second. Hey, 1 second. 1 second. No, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Pearl.
Hey, for real.
No. Everybody. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second, Pearl.
That's
I'm
not
asking you a
true.
serious question, right?
okay.
Because we had you on the panel once, and Andrew Wilson was with us, right? And Andrew Wilson all of a sudden starting to do FUBU remarks and talking about black brands and all that. And I asked him, hey, brother, I see your content all the time. You usually don't talk like this. So my question is, and be honest about it, is there any of your statements you're doing today, statements that are made to trigger the crowd that you have right now?
I actually came here prepared because I thought the topic was black fatigue. So I came prepared with stats, facts, data, and statistics.
Hmm.
I
No,
came.
but the topic is not black fatigue, right?
That's what we spoke about.
No, but
before the
is the
show.
topic black fatigue?
That's
No,
what
no,
you
no.
told me the topic was.
I invited you, right? And I told you already that the next topic would be black fatigue. We already addressed it. But what is the relevant part about making it about race when we're here about the relationships? Why go straight? That's twice. That's going to trigger people. And now if they start saying stuff about white people, now we're going to have a race war. We want to have the conversation and intentional about the relationships, but it is turning into race conversation instead of a relationship conversation. That's all we're addressing. We want to have the conversation, but it's becoming a race conversation.
It's interesting.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you bring people from different races and they talk about their different stereotypes, somebody's going to get offended. Let's be honest. Not everybody can just look objectively at the facts and objectively at the data and objectively at the topic on hand without getting triggered. Some people's emotions are really attached to their race. Some people are really like pro-black, pro-white, whatever you want to call it. So if you bring a panel of people from different races, they're all going to protect their own race at some point. If you both bring things that make the race look bad. So I'm not surprised that eventually what was a dating topic, a dating debate, a dating discussion went to race. It's just always going to be end up like that. Unless you set specific parameters before the debate that, hey, listen, this is specifically dating, let's not bring race into it. Other than that, the topic of race and feelings and emotions about the race and race talk and things like that is always going to be triggering to some people. Anyway, but shout out to Farid, shout out to Jazz, to Ilkan Ali, link down below. Let's get to the next video. Next video is going to be from Lapif. Let's go.
A lot of times, Pearl and Boheme, are women more progressive and do better, and women and children under their own control or under the control of men?
under the control of men. We know that, Ali.
Should men control women?
In terms
Yeah.
of what?
You don't want
Just total
that-
control?
No,
Yeah.
no, no. That's
No,
the
I'm
problem.
asking you. That's what you mean? So you just a blanket control.
You
Blanket
said
control?
if we control you,
Okay.
a Pearl. Outside of what we don't control you, everything y'all try to do is something 304 stuff. Y'all want to be lit. You want to go to the club. You want to go to strip club. You want to go on girls trips. You want to do OnlyFans. You want to be a video vixen. You want to be an influencer. Everything is
Who
on
are
some
these
whole stuff.
women?
Okay, Ali, that's
Most
the
women.
extreme. It started with just women
That's
wanting to
most
just
women.
work and have an identity outside
can't
of
relate.
it.
And Boheme, it's gotten so bad that when women actually get what they want, they get the marriage, they get the baby, they get the family, they want freedom, aka going back to being a thought. Like
That
they
is
want to
not
go.
true, Ali.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not being a thought.
Okay, so
let me explain something to you. So when certain, I don't want to make a blanket statement, so we're not
Come
gonna
on now, host plan this to us. Come on.
Oh no, hey
Okay,
Pearl,
so, no,
hey
I'm
Pearl,
serious.
Pearl, I didn't get
Yes,
to say
Ali.
the second. It's either she going back to be a thought, or it's too hard for her to love somebody outside herself. She loves herself way more than she loves her man or her kids. So it's two. I'm sorry. One is she goes back to being a hoe, or number two is she struggles and doesn't want the responsibility to love somebody else other than herself. And that usually happens in mature woman. The older woman, younger woman, she go back to being a thought. The mature woman, it's very difficult for her to love a man and a kid and kids and love somebody outside herself. She loves herself more than everybody else.
And sometimes it's just difficult for some women to create a balance. It's not that they don't want the husband and the kids. Sometimes the dynamics in a relationship, she may be overstressed, she may be overwhelmed. I'm not making an excuse.
That's
This is
an
what
excuse.
happened. No, it's not,
Yes.
Ali, because if she's overwhelmed and she needs a
what?
break, that doesn't mean I want a break because I want to go out and sleep with somebody else. A break of me, I want to go to the spa. A break of me, I want to just walk around Target
You're
and I
making
don't
my
want to
point.
take the kids with me. It,
You don't
it
go
could be
take your ass
very
to that
dependent on
bathroom.
the
Sweeney
situation.
and Trev. Sweeney and
Y'all
hold on
got
real
it.
quick.
Y'all got it, big dogs.
Sweeney, Trev, Anna
My
the
bad,
Dragon.
Miss Pearl.
Lapeef won't
Wait.
talk about he need.
Now
he
y'all
need a
got it,
break.
big dogs.
He don't need a break from working. He don't need a
Don't
break
you worry
from
about it.
providing. He don't need a break from protecting. He don't need a break from cutting the grass. He don't need a break
But
from getting the car fixed. He don't need a break from taking the trash out. Women need breaks constantly from loving their men, their kids, and even going to
no,
work.
From
Aren't we
sex?
emotional?
no.
We
Hold
function
on.
differently though. Like you got it, big dog.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
I have a
Bo. Go
I
question.
ahead,
I have a
hear.
question.
Yeah.
Pearl,
Wait,
Pearl.
I hear every
No,
day
hold on.
that men and women are different. Men and women are different. Here's the thing, like, it's not that we need a break from loving our man or our family or anything like that. A lot of times women give up who they are for their family. They give up what they did before made them who they are. And if
Yeah.
you are consumed, if your whole life is your family, then yeah, you may need a break. You need to go and find who you are eventually.
That's what men do every day. Men sacrifice their entire life for their family. A single man will work for 8 hours and be okay. The moment he gets a woman, the moment he gets kids, the moment he gets married, now he has to work 60 hours because he has to provide for all these people for the next 40 years until retirement age, sometimes beyond retirement age. So clearly you're in a relationship you're supposed to sacrifice because it's beyond you. Come on. So does that mean a man doesn't need a break?
So like we are taught to give up ourselves because we
Men
have to
too.
raise children. We have to have a family. We make our life our husband's life. So like it's not that we're taking a break from loving our families. Sometimes we just need men get to go out and be themselves at work and all
They're working.
men I'm sorry, y'all do. You don't have to give up hobbies. You don't have
What?
to give up certain things that you like, but women often do. And not
What?
that the husband is asking that of her, but that's just what women automatically do. We lose ourselves in our relationship. Therefore,
What the fuck is she talking about, guys? I'm sorry I have to pause it. What the fuck is she talking about? Men lose themselves in. Men literally don't want to divorce because they want to keep their families together. Who's the first person to divorce when she's not happy? It's a woman. So clearly she's not losing herself. Every time they're not happy, they want to leave the marriage. Every time they're not happy, they want to leave the relationship. So how is that for sacrificing yourself and losing yourself in the man and the relationship? Now, if she was paying 100% of the bills, because she's talking about men go to work and still live their own life and be themselves. But the moment you tell her, let's switch the roles, you go to work, provide for the family, I'll stay home with the kids. She doesn't want to. If paying the bills and the man working 60 hours a week was so easy, why don't they want to be the providers then?
We don't know who we are eventually. So like it's different. Men and women are different, and this is just a way that we are different. But that doesn't mean that we love our husbands less.
Yeah, you
Some
do.
women do want to just go out there and be a 304, but that's not the majority of women
That's the
who are
majority.
married. I'll give
So,
you that, but that is not the majority of women.
It's some bullshit.
Hold on. Hey,
give
JR.
up their hoes. Men
JR.
give up doing whatever they want to do. They give up their resources. Did I get hit?
No, in a
Something
different way though. That's what I'm saying.
What
You
you
all
mean?
do, but you all do it in a different kind of way.
Come
We are
on,
all
man.
approaching this we're all approaching this in different ways.
No.
It looks different for men. It just
It's
How do men
you
supposed
just
know?
to.
have to admit
No,
that it's just
no,
different.
no. I thought I messed up. Can y'all see me now? I thought I went away.
No,
I'm
you're
good.
good. Go ahead. Yeah.
So we give up going out. We give up our resources to y'all. We can just take care of ourselves. We don't have to worry about y'all. We give up having multiple women and children. We give up the actual freedom. Y'all actually benefit from us being with you. That's why we push the men to be monogamous. Because if we do whatever we want to do, y'all gonna be.
Yeah. Right when he
Ali
right
is
when he was
gone.
gonna say that, he froze.
Am I good now?
You're good now. Go ahead.
If there was two planets, one planet where women get to go to, and another planet men get to go to, women would beg to get back on the planet with the men. Y'all benefit from being with men, and then when you have to have a responsibility to the man that you call control, women back want their lives back because they don't want the responsibility of having to love somebody. Where men have to give up themselves too, Bo. It's a family. You're not. The Bible says it as well too, where both of us come together, become one. So now that we have a family, why you still talking about your old self when we not no longer our old self anymore either? But if the Bible says
Exactly.
a man that finds a wife finds a good thing, then you should be a wife when you by yourself, like I should be a husband when I'm by myself. So when we get together, you should be perfect, unless the woman still wants to go back outside, like I said, or she struggles with the responsibility of having to be a family and having to love somebody outside herself.
Hey,
No.
shut up.
No, the truth is, women don't want marriage. They want the wedding. They want the perks that a husband brings to their life. But if they had to choose between having a man to purely provide and fully provide without them having to be a wife and do wifely things, they would take that deal every day. That's why some of them choose sugar daddies, because the sugar daddy provides the resources. You know, he gets to clap cheeks every now and then, but he doesn't have to tell her to cook because he can hire a chef. He doesn't tell her to clean his house because he can pay for whoever has to clean his house. That's why they love sugar daddies. They only get to open their legs every now and then get money for it. So they get a husband who provides, but they don't have to do shit. If they had to choose, all of them would choose that alternative. The difference is most of them can't get a sugar daddy or don't want what comes with getting a sugar daddy. But the truth is they don't really want to be wives. They don't want to be wifely. They don't want to do the wifely duties. They just want the man to come provide, be the husband, and they can still single, but in a marriage.
Shout out to JR because we actually had this conversation in person one day. And I went and found the clip, and I couldn't have said it better than the time I said this. So is it all right, JR, if I play this real quick? It's one of your reels that was only like 30 seconds, about a minute or so long. Hold on, wait. Access to any and everybody. She does. Never does. The only majority of his access is dealing with people he don't really give a damn to be around at work. That's the majority of his access.
From his family to take care of his family.
Right. A woman would have access to everybody and she would give herself to everybody. In her mind, she lost herself.
Correct.
When in reality, if you look at the opposite end and you look at a man and he's like, shit, I gave my entire life to a job. And I lost relationship. That's why when men and women when people get divorced, women tend to be more happy early on in the divorce, whereas men are unhappy because they like, I His problem is, and I lost my family, but also he lost those connections with his family because he spent so much time at work. Whereas she has all those connections with the family.
And she don't feel as guilty about breaking up the family because she's still gonna be with the family.
Yeah.
She's always with the family.
Exactly. Stay-at-home mom has more access to any and everybody.
She does.
We give
Yep.
up a lot. That's what.
All right, so if you guys couldn't really hear what the thing he was playing on the phone, he was pretty much saying the reason why men don't like divorce is because they spend most of their time working, providing for the family. But then when divorce happens, they lose the wife and they lose the kids. Usually after divorce, the woman takes the kids. So the man is left alone. The man is usually kicked out of the house. The wife goes with the kids, keeps the house sometimes, or maybe also leaves the house, but the man has to pay for the new house. So in other words, the wife wins in divorce. That's what pretty much he was saying on the phone.
That day I said, man, women often tell us how much they lose themselves. And oftentimes we lose ourselves just providing. Where you sacrifice going to football games, hanging out with your wife, hanging out with the kids, just to go to work and provide. And I'm not even talking about men of serious means. These are just regular dudes who got to put in 60-hour work weeks because that's what they need to do to put food on the table.
You know what though? Hang on. You know what though? The difference is between men and women in this way when it comes to leadership and patriarchy, whatever you will call it, when it comes to a family or maintaining a family, is that the burden is always placed on us, and there's nothing that a man's ever going to be able to say or do to shed himself to say, I no longer want to fulfill my role as a man. I no longer want to provide. I no longer want to protect. Forget this whole being a man or a real man thing. Hang on. There is no opt out. I'm sitting this out for a man. He has to provide for himself. He has to provide for his mom, or his daughter, or his sister, or somebody else besides himself. I mean, homeless men, different situation, right? But that burden is never, as a collective, as a social collective in a species, we have never said we give up this one thing and we're just not going to do it anymore because we're tired or whatever it is. Whether it's building the world that we live in, the street lamp, anything at all, the infrastructure, from now to the end of time, we wear that burden of the family and holding things together and sacrificing our lives, times, and hours to maintain that family, when women can just walk away at any time that they're unhappy.
But no,
that's true. Women take off days from sex in a marriage. I mean, I'm tired. I don't want to have sex. I'm too tired. And then one day turns into 3 days, turns into 3 weeks, turns into 3 months. They can take off time for their mental health. But as a man, the rent is due, motherfucker. The rent is due. You're never going to tell your landlord. You're never going to tell the mortgage company, I'm taking some time off for my mental health. I don't want to pay the rent. I don't want to pay the mortgage. I'm taking time off for my mental health. I've been working too hard. No. The landlord is going to kick you out, and your wife is going to divorce you because you ain't paying shit because you're taking time off. You feel me? But the woman can take time off. She can, she can relax. And if you don't want to do your job, the courts can force you to do it, or you're going to go to prison as a man. So, I mean, I think maybe we should blame Adam, because I think that was one of the consequences of Adam eating the fruit. The men were always going to be suffering. They're always going to have to pay up,
And that's
no. To your point, largely as a species.
Oh my God, Bo and her feminist strands. Anyway, shout out to Lapif. Link down below. Let's get to the next video. All right. Let's go to whatever podcast. Let's go.
You disagree with me on marriage? Was that correct?
Only because I kind of know the answer, but explain again, why are you against marriage for yourself?
For myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, primarily the potential financial consequences of divorce. That's kind of my primary thing.
Then just pick the right woman who you will stay with.
This is such a terrible argument, but okay.
Yeah.
This is such a okay. So of the people who do get married, we do know that I believe it's the majority of marriages end in divorce. So
I think it's 50%. of marriages end in
I think
divorce.
it's more than that now.
It might be.
Well, there.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be charitable, and okay. First time divorces or first time marriages, the likelihood of divorce is lower among them, although it's still strikingly high. So what ends up kind of skewing, again, I'm going to be fair and charitable, what ends up skewing these divorce statistics is people who've been married 2, 3, 4 times. These people are like if you marry a second time, you're way more likely to get divorced. Married a third time, way more likely to get divorced. First time marriages have a better success rate. However, I find it still, I don't know if it's over 50, it might be 30, 40, who knows. I still don't think that this is an acceptable risk that I'm willing to take. So if I was going to go skydiving and somebody told me there was even a 3% chance of my parachute not working, there's not a chance in hell I'm going to go skydiving. In this case, as relates to even first time marriages, I think it's 30%, 40%. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me what the actual number is. It's really high. So you say, find a really good woman. Do you think that the people who are getting married and who do end up getting divorced, do you think going into that marriage, they're thinking, this is not the person for me, this is not a person I love, this is not the right person? No, they're probably thinking in that moment, this is the person for me, this is the right person, I love this person. So we know things change.
So is your thing just not wanting to get married because you don't want to get divorced, or because you don't want to get divorced and have things taken from you from the divorce, like
Both.
money?
Well, yeah, so if you get married, that is basically creates a contract, right? So in these circumstances, yeah, there would be financial risks involved.
Prenup.
It doesn't matter.
But what if you can't have a prenup signed of like, or written out of like, she takes nothing that was yours? That like, isn't that possible?
Well, there's a couple things, especially I'm in trouble with the kind of dynamic I would be looking for. So I'll explain a bit about what I'd be looking for in terms of a dynamic. I don't really reveal specifics, but let's just say I'm doing very well financially. And in the type of relationship dynamic I would want, I would be desirous of, I'm not 100% opposed to dating a woman who has a job or career or makes her own money. I just don't care. So like, I'll date a girl who works at Chick-fil-A. I'll date a girl who doesn't even have a job. Her income, her job, her career don't matter to me. I'm prepared to fully financially take care of everything. However, if I get married, this would put me in a bit of a precarious position. Now, the issue that I have isn't necessarily a man-woman issue, it's a breadwinner issue. So whoever's the breadwinner, that gives the other person in the relationship massive amounts of leverage in the event of a divorce. So I don't know the specifics, but my understanding is if you're like the primary breadwinner and a divorce is initiated,
you lose.
Not even factoring in what you might have to pay them, the divorce process is quite expensive.
You have
so
to pay
you have
the
to pay
lawyer.
for your lawyer, and you have to pay for their lawyer. So it's not just, your wife wants a divorce, she's gonna have to take care of the lawyer. No, you have to pay for her lawyer. If you're
so fuck it. No more getting married to broke women. So shout out A$AP Rocky, man. He hit the lottery with Rihanna. So I don't think A$AP Rocky would care about the prenup right now. And apparently they didn't have a prenup. Though I think they probably got married in Barbados. I don't think divorce and prenups and shit like that is really key in Barbados. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if they didn't get married in the US, it's probably not such a big deal. But at the end of the day, looks like the new way of getting married for men is find a woman who's richer than you, who has something to lose. Because clearly, if you're the breadwinner, if you're the provider, if you make more money than your wife and you get divorced, she's going to take half of what she didn't work for.
A situation like mine, perhaps.
What if the woman earns more than you, so then you don't have to worry about that financial?
Oh, if she's a billionaire, you best believe she's getting proposed to. Trust me.
That's the best,
I'm fine with marriage. Then I'm totally fine with marriage. And then there's definitely no prenup there.
Yes.
However, although a woman who's a billionaire is probably going to be financially savvy enough Of course, I would never leave a woman who's a billionaire, and
Right,
I'd
but
never divorce her.
what if you said no
Gold
prenup,
digger.
but what if she wants you to sign the prenup? Then would you not marry
Oh.
her?
Hold on. So hold on. I'm gonna do what women do. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a complete role over. Oh, you don't love me?
Oh.
This is hold on. This is for life.
But what if okay, what if you are, in your case, what if you're the
Yeah.
rich man and you found the woman and she does everything for you. She cooks for you, cleans for you, and you bring her this prenup and you
Why would I bring her a prenup? I'm not getting married.
No, but if let's say you actually like want to marry this woman and you bring her this prenup and she doesn't throw a fit and she's like, okay, I'll sign it because she actually loves you that much. Like that rare possibility that happens and she's not like, oh my God, you don't love me. Like, do you think that can happen or do you not believe that can happen?
That she would want
That
to
she
get-
It doesn't matter. She may still get, a woman can still get married to a man with a prenup and they get divorced and go to court and fight the prenup. It happens like every single day. Just because your woman signed a prenup doesn't mean she can't challenge it. Doesn't mean she can't say you forced her. Doesn't mean she can't tell the judge this is not fair. Because I'm telling you guys, if you, let's say you get married to a woman and you make just $50,000, you guys send a prenup. Hey, after the divorce, you keep what you want, you keep what you keep, I keep what I keep, what I came with, you keep what you came with. And let's say you get divorced in 10 years time, and now you make $100 million from $50,000, and she still makes, let's say, $80,000. I can guarantee you, there's no judge who's going to say, keep your $100 million, she keeps her $80,000. No judge. She's going to contest the prenup and she's going to say, I was used to this lifestyle, because that's what they usually tell the judges. Oh my God, judge, I was so used to driving that Lamborghinis. Now he's going to leave me broke and dusty. The judge is going to say, hey, listen, you got to give her something. She was your wife.
she would want to marry you and sign the prenup if you were
Oh
a
yeah,
millionaire.
sure. It's logically possible that a woman who would otherwise be interested in me and I would be interested in her, she has a deal breaker, which is marriage. Like she really wants to get married. That's probably not going to work out because I'm steadfast and stubborn on this. It is possible that there could be a woman so remarkable, so attractive, so possessing all the things that I care about that it is possible I could be willing to get married.
If she were to sign a prenup?
No. Even if she's all those characteristics. What's going on? Oh, okay, gotcha. It's possible, but I just wouldn't. I don't see the point of it. She can just defer to me.
I mean,
Because I would date a submissive woman,
if she loves
and
you
if
that
she's submissive,
much,
she's going to defer to me on this.
if she loves you that much, I do agree with you. She wouldn't need to get married to you to.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I ultimately just think you could try to frame the leverage both ways. It's like, well, she won't stay with you if you don't get married. Well, okay, I won't stay with her if we don't get married. Yeah. But in terms of the economic risk of marriage, whoever the breadwinner is, and a woman could be the breadwinner. So women can also encounter this. Although there's a couple differences here. I think women feel way more entitled to men's money than the reverse. So even if the woman's like wealthy, to be fair, like there are women who end up paying alimony and do this. Men are far less likely to go after child support. Men are less likely to go after alimony. Men, to be clear, men do go after these things, but men are much more likely to be like, we're done. Don't want anything to do with you. I don't feel entitled to anything. You're the breadwinner, whatever. We're done. Wipe your hands clean. Women, they have an entitlement. They feel entitled to his money. Not all women, but it's more common among women.
That's true, but
Also, even regardless of what you think, once you get lawyers involved, and you're going to need lawyers for marriage, you're going to need lawyers for the divorce process. You could be the most well-intentioned man or woman, dating a breadwinner, whatever. You get your lawyer in the picture who has a financial incentive because, you know, based on the settlement of whatever, I think they can get some, you know, extra portion. Lawyers are very convincing. Lawyers are practiced in the art of influence and persuasion. Even if you're a good-intentioned woman, even if you're a good-intentioned man, is your lawyer? And lawyers are convincing. You put a naive woman in front of a fucking high-powered divorce attorney, and you think, and she's no longer under the influence of her husband. Now she's under the influence of her divorce attorney. A naive woman, it's her first divorce, is going to get completely fucking bulldozed by an attorney. The attorney's like, whoa, hold on. You're entitled to this. He needs to give you X, Y, Z. Even the good intentioned woman who's like inclined to be like, wipe her hands clean. Nah. She's going to get, the lawyer is going to be like, nah, we're going to get you money. Oh, think about, you know, think about X, Y, Z. She'll be persuaded. She'll be convinced. So it's a difficult situation.
Not always, because if I was in that position, I would not be convinced. I wouldn't be persuaded.
Yeah, like every woman would say. Every woman who's getting married, she promises she would never divorce a man. She promises she's not marrying for love, for money. She promises she will never try to take half your shit. But when the divorce comes, that's why they tell every man these days that before you get married as a man, go to divorce court. When people are having divorce sessions and, you know, the woman is divorcing the man she's trying to take half, just go sit in those court sessions. Just go sit, because some of them are usually public. Go sit in the back and see these two people who were once in love, how much they hate each other and how much the woman is trying to take everything from the man. So before you get married, go to divorce court, sit in divorce court of different people and see what happens. This woman who's saying, oh, I will never take anything from you, yeah, she'll be your worst enemy when divorce happens.
Okay,
I mean,
well, you might say that, and then circumstances, even, bro, women will tell their husbands, I would never go after you for alimony.
Yep.
I would never go after you for child
Every
support. She
day.
gets pregnant, boom, 18 years child support.
Yep.
Do you just have trust issues?
Why would it have anything
It's
to
not
do
just
with trust
issues, it's
issues?
real.
I don't understand.
I actually strongly believe that.
Who hurt
a
you?
woman
Weak
should-
argument. Weak argument.
No.
Well, to me, it just sounds like you're not even totally against marriage. You just need the right circumstances or someone who's financially just equal to you, I guess.
I suppose. But I mean, here's what I believe. I can be with someone, all the things that you can have in marriage, I can have that absent marriage. I can stay with you forever. We can have kids. We can live together. We can have a family. We can love each other. We can care about each other. I can do an advanced healthcare directive. There's some marriage confers some benefits, but I don't think those benefits, tax purposes, blah, blah, whatever. Healthcare circumstances, there are some circumstances like if you were to die and, you know, related to your estate and how money flows after you die, but then I'm dead, I shouldn't say who gives a fuck. Obviously you want, you know, people have wills and for a reason you want your money to go to the right people, whatever. But I think those are really minimal compared to the risk of what happens in divorce. It seemed like you wanted to come in on something.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had ever thought about, okay, well, I guess I should proposition this to you.
Sure.
I know,
proposition me.
I will. I know a couple that is a very, very wealthy man, multi-millionaire, and him and his wife actually, well, they've been together 25 years. They have 2 kids, and come to find out they're not actually married. They have a contract that they renew every year. They're not legally married. They just renew whatever contract, and they have different terms that they discuss and go over every year. And so it's almost like more romantic because they're like forcing to commit and like come together every year and say, okay, like, do we still want to do this, basically? And then they both have an out if they want out.
And the guy's the breadwinner? The guy's the wealthy one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming the contract is She's not getting nothing, right? I mean, I'm sure she's getting.
No, I mean she had his kids. He wanted like 2 kids. That was a part of it. And then obviously like they live together. They still live in the same place, but they haven't actually like been together in years except to make their children, and that's it. It's very interesting. But you could do something like that, you know, a little
Why? Why would I
contract
do
or
that?
whatever.
That's it's in essence basically a marriage. Like in terms of the legal ramifications, I don't know the details of their whatever they have.
I don't know the full details, but just
No,
an
I wouldn't
idea
have a
for you.
contract with who I'm with.
No?
I wouldn't do no. That would only benefit her, wouldn't it? How would it benefit me?
I don't know. Honestly, because I don't
'Cause
know
it's
what
got- I mean,
their
typically-
I don't know what their terms look like.
Well, I mean, what I would infer is if she leaves, he pays her money. What other contract would there? He's the breadwinner. He's the rich one. If she leaves or he leaves, she gets money in either scenario, I'm assuming.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
It's
wouldn't do
possible.
that. No.
No.
No, you don't want to
What
be
if
with
you
me?
really cared about the person and she hasn't been working for
I will
years?
if we split and maybe it's my decision, maybe even if it's her decision, I would perhaps voluntarily support her. Voluntarily.
Until she gets on her feet, if
Perhaps.
perhaps.
Yeah, but why? And I think you guys have seen this. Some people have talked about it. You know how after a divorce, the man is expected to continue paying to continue paying the woman money to keep up the same lifestyle she was used to during marriage. So the argument is, if a man is going to continue paying a woman's rent and food and, you know, in other words, alimony, financial support after marriage, should the woman be expected to continue cooking for the man as he gets on his feet? Because if you've been cooking for me as my wife, you've been making my meals, my work dinner, my work lunch and things like that, my breakfast. After divorce, if I'm still expected to pay for your lifestyle, I should expect you to continue making my lunch and my dinner and things like that. I think that's fair if we're going to be fair. But for some reason, it's the man who is expected to continue funding the woman's lifestyle that she was used to in the marriage, but the woman is never expected to do anything for the man after the divorce. I find that funny. It would be more fair. I continue paying for your lifestyle, you continue coming to my house and cooking my meals. That would be fair.
If things otherwise if I left her and we had kids and she didn't work, I would I leave her and she's not doing anything wrong. I voluntarily leave her. I can't imagine why I would. But under these circumstances, I would feel comfortable voluntarily helping her out. But as soon as you introduce a contract, oh, she cheated on me, now I got to pay her alimony? What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what marriage is. You get married, your wife cheats on you, you got to pay her $10,000 a month?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get married.
And she can kick you out of
But
the
I
house
can be
too.
with a woman for my entire life. I can have kids with a woman.
Aw. So it's just
So-
a legal thing.
Yeah, it's primarily legal.
Oh.
I just don't see, there's no point to it.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Would you like have a wedding but not sign a legal document?
No
then,
wedding.
like,
That's
you
a
come
marriage.
together and agree for like.
Yeah, let's say
marriage?
I mean, I'm not sure if a Christian woman would date me, given my current belief. I say I don't believe yet, which means I'm leaving room open for there being the possibility of a development of belief. If a Christian woman who was fantastic and I liked her, she liked me, and to satisfy something for her, she wanted to get married like in a church and this had no legal ramifications, sure.
No, guys, don't get. Guys, any type of marriage, any type of vows that you do and there's somebody else, that's going to be considered a marriage. And to turn around to fuck you up, I'm telling you. Because I know some of you guys are saying, oh, I'm never going to get married in the church. I'm never going to involve. I'm going to do a type of marriage where the state is not involved. Any type of marriage you do and you take vows and there was someone present, she can still divorce you and they'll subpoena that person as a witness, and you're fucked. It will be considered a marriage. First of all, some states consider common law marriage just you living with your girlfriend in the same house and doing the same things together for a long time. You're going to be considered a married couple anyway. So, but you got to be careful. So don't do that. Anyway, shout out to our Teva podcast, link down below. Till next time, peace.